Hello and welcome to Year 11 Parent Support Presentation. My name's Abby Rees and I'm the head of Year 11. It's a real shame that we cannot do this in person, but I hope you find this presentation informative and it'll demonstrate to you what we're trying to do to support Year 11s in their last year at Priory. Can I just say what a pleasure it is to be their head of year in their final year at Priory. I've known these pupils now since Year 9 and it is great to see how they've all come along since I became their head of year 2 years ago. So let's start off with the culture of Priory, and what we like to do is put students first. We want to make sure that they're doing their best, they're believing in themselves, and they are setting examples to others. I can tell you now that the majority of Year 11 pupils have come back with such a good positive attitude, and I'm really impressed to see that. I also would like to encourage pupils to strive, not just to thrive in this final year, and I'm sure the majority of all of them are really wanting to do the best they can in their GCSEs. Now, we have a strong leadership team. This is Ruby and Tom, our head boy and head girl, and I've been talking to them lately of how to reward those pupils that are doing well. So please look out for that in the future, and we've got some really, really good ideas to make sure that all pupils are positive and trying to reach their goals, and there are rewards in place for that. Now, we expect all pupils to have a 95% attendance rate at Priory. However, I know in these unprecedented times that that's not always the case. And what we would like is that pupils who, when they are in school, it's to make the most of it. Okay, they've got their teachers now in front of them, they are ready to learn, they are on task, and they're making the most of having that specialist teacher in front of them. Now, our expectations, we're going to learn some lessons from the summer 2020, but we are going to be planning business as usual that exams will go ahead. Now, alterations to some GCSE specifications have been made, and all pupils should have heard this from their subject teacher. If they have not heard or you don't know about it, please contact me or their teacher directly, and we should be able to answer any of your queries. Now, as I said, I'm hoping that all pupils are ready to learn. They've got the correct equipment, they're prepared to put in the effort, and they're taking responsibility of their own learning. Homework is imperative and it's completed to their best ability. We need to see what gaps in their knowledge that they have in a particular subject, and this is important that we can then go back into Super Teach Week and hopefully fill in those gaps of knowledge so that they are successful in their GCSEs. They need to be listening actively, being resilient, and obviously being aspirational in their achievements. Now, the behaviours that predict success in education are very, very simple. It's paying attention, being an independent learner, organised, persistent in tasks, follow class rules, eager for learning, and being adaptable. And majority of Year 11 are doing this, but there's always room for improvement, and I'm sure that a lot of pupils can put all of these skills into their everyday practice at school and show that they can succeed. So, the GCSE timetable is yet to be confirmed, but we will keep you updated. PPEs will go ahead, and these will be in January, and then central assessed grades. Now, these central assessed grades were what we used last year for last year's Year 11. Now, obviously, we do not know what is going to happen this year, and pupils need to really think about this and take it on board. If teachers have to then use predicted grades, i.e. central assessed grades, we will be using their homework, in classroom work, the way they behave, their attitude to learning, and their PPEs as well. So pupils need to take everything that they do in lessons in school very seriously, and we want to make sure that we give them all the support we can so that they can succeed. Now, what are we doing? We're giving appropriate feedback. We're encouraging pupils to do their homework and put work up onto Google Classroom. I'll come to that again on how to do that, because it is important that all teachers can see what pupils are doing and what level they're at, and if any other extra intervention needs to be put in place. Obviously, we're happy to give advice. Easter school is going to be timetabled, and you'll know about that as the year goes on. Post-16 planning, we have Mr. Wilmot and Miss Silman, who are careers advisors, and I've got some more information about that later on. Then we've got the character education and the pledges with Mr. Shopland and the student leadership team that are putting together, and you'll hear about that later on in the year as well. And we also have tutor time intervention. Now you can see here on the screen that I've put up the tutor timetable. Now, as you can tell, every tutor group in year 11 will get the opportunity to have extra maths, English and science during tutor time, and they'll be on a rotation system. This is just an example for now, and what I will do is when Learning Cycle 2 happens, we will then explain to pupils which subject they will be having next. Now, how to submit work to Google Classroom. I discussed this earlier, how it's important that we get to see pupils' work. At the moment, we're unable to take their books in to do any marking. So Google Classroom is a really important tool for us as teachers. So what we would like is that if pupils are asked to put up their work, they need to scan it in, or they can create a file on Google Classroom. This PowerPoint just demonstrates to you how to do that. So what were the causes of the First World War? Now, if you look to the right-hand side, you can add or create, and there are Google Classroom, a link, a file, docs, slides, sheets. Now what you can do is you can add a file. I've asked my geographers and sociologists to just take a picture of an extended question or an essay they've written, and then they've added it as a file to the assignment that I've created on Google Classroom. However, what you can do as well is if you add it, you can create your own document and then type up your extended question from your book and then add it to that place. It is important that this work is uploaded so that teachers can see the work you're doing. We can then put in the correct support so that you can improve your extended questions or any work or any knowledge that you need for your GCSEs. There's also a link there to YouTube which just shows the extensive tools on Google Classroom. So if you want to do anything else, add a comment, contact a teacher, upload something else to Google Classroom, it is all there on that link. Now, revision techniques. I've told Year 11s in Assembly not too long ago that I'm going to be going over a few different revision techniques in Assembly so they can find the best way that they learn. But the main things are finding a quiet space, prioritising, not revising the stuff you know, start with the stuff that you're not so strong on, and then move to the stuff that you knew closer to the exam. No distractions, put the phone away, put the TV off. We're all guilty of these things. Having incentives, working towards that goal. So if you've done 45 minutes of revision, then have 15-minute break of going to see a friend, having a cup of tea, watching your favourite show on Netflix, playing on the Xbox, something like that. There's also different techniques that I'll go through, and also small revision chunks. I don't want you coming to me going, oh, I've revised 3 hours in one block. That's not going to be helpful. You're going to bombard yourself too much with information. It needs to be small chunks of revision so it can stay in your long-term memory. Now, the first steps to revision, we have a plethora of programmes at your disposal. So we have Hegarty Maths, Tassamy, BBC Bitesize, Google Classroom, as I've said, that teachers will put up work for you, YouTube, Seneca. I'm actually listening to the audiobook book Make It Stick, so I can pass on key ideas out of that to pupils. And then we've got GCSE Pod. Now, GCSE Pod is a great teaching tool. We can set assignments, we can mark, we can monitor pupils, and it's really easy to use. And it's really short little podcasts for pupils to listen to get that knowledge into their brains and for them to revise as well. You will be getting a revision pack in the next couple of weeks, and you'll have your login details of GCSE Pod and how to use it. Now, as I've just said, the revision starter pack. This is what we want to give out to pupils just to get you started so you understand what is needed to get revising. Now, what we've given is 2 booklets there, Revision Cracked for students, but also how parents can help, how you can help your child to revise for their GCSEs. As I've said before, the GCSE Pod, how to access, and a revision timetable when at school and during holidays. Now, this revision timetable is something actually I put together, and I found an example on the internet, and I've given this out previously to my Year 11 classes. And as you can see, in the top bit is revision timetable for term time. So it's a normal school day, your homework, and then in the evening, a couple of subjects which you can do revision. The yellow actually shows your free time. So I'm not expecting you to do revision on a Friday night or even Saturday, but it is just having that balance between schoolwork and also having those incentives just so that you have a rest so you don't burn out and make sure that you're not overworking. And then we've got the revision timetable for school holidays, okay? So it's like 15 minutes for each subject. I'm not asking you to do 6 hours in one block. It's making sure you're doing small chunks, having a break in between, making sure that all the information that you've revised is going into your long-term memory. And that's what we need. And I want to make sure that you start this and start thinking how you can revise. So when you come to your exams, you're not panicking. You're going into the exam with a lot of confidence and knowing that you are able to sit that paper and excel. Now, there are different types of revision. I'm going to be going through the Leitner flashcard method soon, which just shows how to create flashcards, and that you actually put the correct answer in the next box and then the incorrect answer you keep in your other box. And then what happens is that you then revise all these revision cards over a period of time. And it is really easy, but it's really easy to set up, and it's really helpful to make sure that you're learning content gradually as you go along the year. Obviously there's mind maps, and also there's teaching others. Okay, can you explain to a friend, a 5-year-old or a family member all the content that you're learning? I've also put up here the app Notion, so if you're more technically minded and would like to do revision, so start your revision online, that is a really, really good app. And then there's also Ali Abdal. He is an ex-doctor, now YouTuber, and he puts up videos of how to revise or how to study effectively or be productive in how you revise, and it's really, really easy watching, and I think it'd be really beneficial for you to see how he has done it. And then in the middle there, I've just put up overcoming the curve. This is to demonstrate by doing repetitive revision over short periods of time, you eliminate the forgetting curve, okay? So immediately after class, you reviewed something, then 24 hours later, then 1 week later, then 1 month later. You are then breaking down the forgetting curve. So over time, you're actually repeating yourself and not forgetting all the information that you have learned in your particular subjects. Now, to help you along with this, our expectation in between lessons will be for you to create flashcards of your previous lesson. So you'll be sat in there in your assigned seat and working quietly. Now, I've demonstrated this to my Year 11 classes, and it's called funneling the information that you're getting. You are getting a lot of information from all different subjects. And what you need to do is funnel it down into these flashcards. So you've got case studies, keywords, quotation, facts and figures, so that then you can be prompted. So when you're in an exam, you can put down a keyword and you can go, right, that's good, I know that keyword, I can then answer this question. This is your sort of help and making sure that you break that forgetting curve, and this is your first step to making revision resources for you. Now, trust the process. This is where I want you all to trust us as teachers as well. We know what we're doing. We know how other pupils have revised in the past and how well they have done. It is not an overnight thing. You are not going to be brilliant at one subject overnight. You need to trust the process and trust your confidence in revising and making sure it is consistent over a period of time. Now, key dates that you need to look out for. Our PPs are in January. The GCSE timetable, as I've said, is to be confirmed, and Easter school is to be confirmed. Leavers Day and Prom is scheduled for the 17th of June. We will have to see if this goes ahead. I have got a positive attitude, and I'm really, really hoping that Prom goes ahead this year. It would be great to celebrate this year group after being their head of year since year 9, that we have a really good send-off and Prom goes ahead, but we will keep you updated with that. Now, the outgoings will be Prom, of course, if it goes ahead, a Leavers hoodie, and we're all debating what colour it's going to be. I have given my viewpoints to some of the pupils, and they're not happy with my colour choice at the moment, but I'm sure we'll come to some form of agreement. And then revision guides as well. And if you need any help with revision guides, please don't hesitate to contact myself or teachers as well of specific subjects. Now, Year 11 and beyond PCSA, there are going to be lots of great colleges and sixth forms and apprenticeships nearby. Mr Wilmot and Miss Silman are always on hand to give that advice, and each Year 11 student will have one-to-ones in November and December, and this will just be to offer advice and guidance on how to make applications. Now, all applications will be online this year, and also there will be tours and events by the careers team to help you along. What I would say is don't follow your friends. Make sure that you're actually choosing the right course for you as well. And as I said, most applications will be done online this year. Please do this at home, but do not use your student email address. You need to get your own private email address to make those applications. More advice and more information will be coming your way throughout the year about this. Now, mindset. Mindset is everything, and I know that mental health is a big issue, and what I want to do is make sure that you are all prepared for the exams ahead. And what we've got in place, we've got a lot of support that we can help you with. Now, as you can see on the right hand side there, we have got Let's Talk About It with Mental Health Matters at Priory. We've got mental health aiders, we've got a school counsellor, you can speak to your tutors. I will be doing an assembly on Mental Health Awareness Day, mindfulness and hypnotherapy. We can offer all of this support to help you through your exams. Now, alternatively, there are two apps, Headspace and Calm. I'm a big fan of Headspace actually myself, and it really helps me to get rid of my anxieties or stresses from the day, just listening to something and meditating at the end of the day. We've also got Kooth, which is an online system which you can actually talk to a professional counsellor, but it's anonymous, so you don't have to actually disclose anything, but it's just to have that extra bit of support. There are a couple of books there. It's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies about mental health. It's a really nice book developed by Scarlett Curtis, and then Bryony Gordon, You've Got This. Now, we are here as members of staff as well to help any of you with any mental health concerns. I know Year 11 can be a very stressful time for everyone. However, please bear in mind that we are here to support you. And if you have any concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. And in that vein, if you do have any queries about what you've just seen, please contact myself, or you can contact Mr Shopland, who's the head of Key Stage 4, Miss Aaron, who is the Vice Principal of Pastoral, or Mr Uffendale, and he's the Vice Principal of Curriculum. I hope that you found this presentation really informative. As ever, if you've got any queries, please do contact me. Thank you for listening.